Proceed about 5 miles on I-77 South.
Good morning. Good morning, Freedom Marchers. Good morning, Freedom Marchers. Strap on your ruck and let's get ready to rock. Let's get ready to march toward this freedom, people. Get your ruck on. Get your equipment laid out. Let's roll through it. You know, damn, I left one of my hats on top of the cab. Now it's like I can see it flapping between the back of the cab and the camper. Anyway, how my freedom marchers doing, man? How many miles have you rucked this week? How much weight did you carry? Because the shit gets deep, y'all. The shit gets deep. Y'all need to be prepared to ruck as much weight as possible. And that means you have to go out and you got to hit the ground. You got to pound the ground. But, man, make sure y'all hit that like button when y'all come in here so that I can get some traction with this video. I want to talk about this, the Biden administration wanting to hand out crack pipes. Look. They want to hand out crack pipes. You know, I don't really have a problem with that per se. What I do have a problem with is the fact that drugs are illegal in the first place. Pay attention to what they're doing. I want y'all to see what they're doing. They want to hand drug paraphernalia to make it easier for people to smoke crack, right? But crack is illegal. You can get arrested for smoking crack. You can get arrested for possessing crack. You can get arrested for dealing crack. But they're giving people free crack smoking paraphernalia.
Is on the right.
You understand what I'm saying? Make sense of that. Okay, so let's go through the cycle. All right, let's go through the cycle of bullshit. Let's go where it started in the 70s with Tricky Dick Nixon. He declared war on drugs. Okay, he declared war on drugs. And then what happened? Well, the CIA, you know, along with the Contras over there in South America, started flooding, you know, the original cartels like not Fidel Castro. What's that guy's name? The famous guy, the famous Colombian drug dealer, the famous Colombian drug guy. You know what I mean? Not Castro. Who the fuck is his name? Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. So they flood the country with cocaine, and they also flood the country they've been flooding the country with heroin since long before that. And then they declare war on drugs, right? But they flood the black minority neighborhoods with the drugs and start distributing it among the people and selling it to people. And then they start arresting the drug dealers that they had these clandestine relationships with, and they started arresting the crack addicts, right? Because, you know, freebase came along in the 80s, and it got really bad, and they really started going in on drug dealers and drug addicts. And then you have the crime bill of 94. Fast forward to the crime bill of 94, where you had all these mandatory sentences for possessing a little bit of crack, right? 20 years, 15 years, and not just crack. Marijuana, heroin, all these other drugs, right? The United States government facilitates the distribution of drugs among the people in black neighborhoods, and not just black neighborhoods. It started to spill over in all neighborhoods, and then it became a big problem. The government facilitated that. clandestinely at first, right? Undercover. They didn't want, all that shit had to come out in a FOIA, right? Freedom of Information Act, Now they're openly wanting to give crack pipes to people so that it's easier for them to smoke crack. It's not just crack pipes, right? It's not just crack pipes. It's also syringes and this, that, and the third. That makes it better, right? Again, I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is this with this war on drugs that we have in the first place, that this government has declared. The war on drugs is the bigger problem because
20 west.
And the war on drugs and the prohibition of certain drugs, right? The prohibition of certain drugs, that's the problem. Because what you're doing is you're creating an element of criminality around these drugs that's completely unnecessary. And it's adding an element of danger to even having to deal with drugs in the first place. So now you got drug dealers who are operating outside of the law. They have to be sneaky. They have to kill people who they feel might snitch on them. Right? It escalates and elevates the level of danger involved in doing drugs in the first place. Whereas if it was just legal, the only danger that exists is with the individual who does the drug, what they do to themselves. And that's not a crime, right? It's dangerous for that individual, but it's not a crime. They're the ones taking the drugs. They're not forcing anybody to take drugs. They bought the drugs. They weren't coerced or beaten or manipulated into taking the drugs. They wanted the drugs for them. They just wanted the drugs. So if it's legal, then the only person that is in danger is the individual that does the drug. You don't have to worry about the drug dealer killing somebody or somebody killing the drug dealer. Drug wars, the wars between different drug lords and all this shit, all the danger, all the crack houses where people are ODing, right, or going off the rails and rape is happening, all this other shit. These things don't exist without government prohibition. I know some people like to think it would, right, like ABL, but it wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't need a crack house if it was legal. A crack house is basically somewhere you can go. It's like a crack den, right? You go with a bunch of people and they smoke the crack. You know what I mean? Because they need some place to hide. But if drugs were legal, you wouldn't need that. You would be able to do the drugs in your own home or whatever the case may be. But this is the bottom line. This is another thing that we are not talking about when it comes to drugs and illegal drugs. It's my position, right? Now, this is what they're saying, right? It's my position. I posit that if not for drug prohibition, there would be no crack. There would be no stepped on drugs to the degree that it's stepped on now that causes all these problems, that amplifies the mental disorder that these drugs can cause, right? You don't have that. The reason that crack exists in the first place is so that the drug dealers, they cut it up to make it last longer, because they're having problems getting the drugs in the first place from South America, right? So in order to make it last longer and to spread it out and make more money over a period of time where they're not going to have access or they're not going to be able to re-up, they cut the drugs with chemicals, which essentially created crack or freebase. And so now you have this freebase, which is a much more dangerous form of cocaine, right? Much more dangerous form of cocaine, much more easily overdosed on, right? Kills people, all this other shit. And the same thing happened with heroin, even marijuana, right? Angel dust, all these things, people have to sneak and create drugs, designer drugs, that they have to distribute, and they have to do certain things in a sneaky way. It's not regulated, or it's not there's no oversight, there's no quality control, because these people don't care. These people, they just want to make the money off the drug sales. So they don't care what it does to the person who does the drugs. As long as that drug addict, well, if they can last 1 or 2 years as a drug addict before they die, then I think that's a good amount of time to make money off that motherfucker. And if there's hundreds of crack addicts, thousands of crack addicts, we just got bread coming in nonstop. All this is because government decided that they wanted to prohibit drug use. Now, do some people get on drugs and do things that harm other people? Yes, they do. But they're going to do that whether the drug is legal or not, right? Because bad people are going to do bad things whether they're on drugs or not. Now, being on the drug might make you do something that you wouldn't otherwise do, but that doesn't happen with everyone, and it's going to happen anyway. So what's with the drug prohibition? And now they want to give crack pipes to people, right? They want to give crack pipes to crack addicts, but they won't legalize drugs, right, on a federal level. They'll give people crack pipes, but won't legalize drugs, and crack is an illegal drug.
Continue on I-20 west. And
so they're going to give crack pipes to drug addicts so that they can smoke crack. And when they get caught, they still go to jail. They still suffer a penalty for smoking the crack with the crack pipe the government gave them. You see where this is kind of off a little bit? So I'm going to give you a crack pipe as the government official the government that illegalized drugs, and I'm going to give you a crack pipe to make it easier for you to smoke those drugs and thus get caught by the police smoking those drugs and go to jail. And, enrich the coffers of the prison industrial complex and the government. That doesn't come on. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Now they have
east and then
they have legalized drugs in some places. Like I believe in Oregon they legalized drug use, which I think is a good idea, man, because these people are going to do the drugs no matter what. Making it illegal is not going to stop them from doing the drug, right? And that's not the point in the first place. The government, they didn't illegalize drugs so that it would prevent people from doing drugs. No, they wanted to. Okay, we're going to create more laws for people to violate so that we can be enriched. That's what it's all about. They need a reason for existence, right? The government needs a reason for existence. Look at us. We're trying to end drug abuse. We're trying to end we declare war on drugs. We're trying to save people from themselves. We're trying to help people who are doing drugs. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because if you were, you would legalize the drug, and then you create programs for these drug addicts to perhaps get better if they're out of hand, right? Rehab programs. And then
keep right
imagine
I-20
the amount of resources you free up by doing this with the pigs, right? The pigs can focus on real criminals, right? They can focus on real criminals. And there you go. There you have, a way to save money, a way to, prevent prison overcrowding and all that good shit. But that's not what they want. They want people to continue to do drugs, and they want drugs to remain illegal. And the kicker, y'all want to know what the kicker is? That they're prioritizing minority communities with these crack pipes. Yes. your boy Biden and his administration, they're prioritizing minority communities with the crack pipes. So basically, if you're white, you don't get a crack pipe right now. You got to wait for the crack pipe. We're going to give the crack pipes to the black folks and the Hispanics and those type of people. You know, white folks, no, y'all can't get no crack pipes. You see where this is going? These people
26 east
are fucking wild, yo, and they want you to think that they're really there for you. They're not. They're not. Wow. I've seen. Wow. They're prioritizing minorities to bring about equity, right? They want equity amongst the crack addicts, right? Oh, you know, because white crack addicts, you know, they can afford crack pipes more than black crack addicts, right? Right? Yeah. White crack addicts, you know, they have more ready access to crack pipes, whereas black folks and Hispanics, oh yeah, no, they can't. Oh, they can't get a hold of no crack pipes. No, we got to help those guys get the crack pipes. Joey B, the same guy who authored the 94 crime bill. Think about that for a minute. He wants to hand people crack pipes to do drugs that are illegal and will get you arrested. Makes sense, right? Now that I think about it, it makes perfect sense for Joey B to do this. Anyway, thought I'd get on here and rant about that. This shit is crazy. You know, they want to prioritize minority communities with these crack pipes. Shit is wild, man. Now they're telling you straight in your face what they think about the black community. Oh, we want to help the black community. No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to keep them in a bad place by handing them crack pipes. Shit is fucking crazy, man. Next thing you know, they're gonna be handing them free crack. Next thing you know, just you wait. They're gonna be handing crack addicts free crack. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.